Okay, so these are the things that we have covered in the last lecture. You can have now quick revision on it, so that next part will be easy. Okay, like I said, sometimes in engineering, especially in the first year and second year, what happens, you start with very easy things. Okay, and easy things means what? Those are already familiar to you. Always in all subject it happens like that. So you start with the basics, or the simple things that you have already learned in 10th, 11th and 12th standard, and suddenly you will not know, suddenly you are shifting to the unknown parts and some core engineering fields. So always try to focus. Okay, because there is a link, always link between the previous learned part and the new part. Okay, always there is a link. So try to be focus, try to be try to connect the previous things and then current things, which will be covering by the your faculties. See here, we have seen zeroth law of thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics, the second law of thermodynamics in the previous lecture. Okay, the heat engine, heat pump, refrigerator, how to get this terminology into block diagram, then how to draw the get the equations for this, then simple numericals based on these devices that we'll see today. And we'll start the next part, that is mode of heat transfer. So I hope some part is already understood. So we have seen the zeroth law of thermodynamics. You tell me if you have any doubt about anything, this part. Is something that I need to repeat? Is there something? Anyone can comment. I mean, if you are not familiar with this terminologies or this part, you have not understood it yesterday, then I can repeat some of the part of this, some of the topic. No?
Yes, sir. Repeat.
So then I can have a quick revision, but you be on the track. Okay, don't miss here and there. Okay, just
Sir,
concentrate here. Yes.
will you please repeat the second law of thermodynamics once?
Okay, fine. I'll quickly run the slides so that you can revise what we have seen yesterday. Maybe that way you are remembering things fine. Zeroth law of thermodynamics we have seen, and what was it is about the thermal equilibrium. So there is body A, there is body B. If body A is in thermal equilibrium with body C, thermal equilibrium, okay, and if body B is also in thermal equilibrium with body C, automatically that means what? Body A and B also are in thermal equilibrium. So this is nothing but the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, this is about thermal equilibrium. So this is the example when a thermometer is dipped into some water bath. Okay,
Sir,
yes.
screen is not available.
Screen is not available. Okay. Sorry. Is it now?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I missed to make it in presentation mode. Sorry. So this is zeroth law, first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics, heat engine, heat pump, refrigerator, and some numericals on it. Okay. So zeroth law of thermodynamics is about body A is in thermal equilibrium with body C. If body B is in thermal equilibrium with body C, then body A and B are also said as those are in thermal equilibrium. Okay. So this is nothing but the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay. And what is the best example here? Is the thermometer. So when part A, what you can see, actually there is a hot bath, okay, or hot cup of tea, you can say. So when it is in contact with this metallic bulb, actually the hot water or hot tea is transferring heat to the metallic bulb. It will transfer to the glass. It will transfer to later to the mercury inside it. And so mercury finally shows the what is the temperature, let's say 45 degrees Celsius maybe. So all these bodies are coming in thermal equilibrium. Then you say, I mean, A is in contact with the B is in contact with the C. That way, it is Zero's law of thermodynamics. All bodies are in thermal equilibrium. Okay. So when there is a contact, of course, when there is a contact, right? Fine. This was the first law of thermodynamics. The Joule derived it. Okay, in 1840, he kept one apparatus there. This is the apparatus where you can see the apparatus. It is having some fluid. It's a container basically, and it is insulated, inside which there is one propeller. Okay, and a propeller means it has some pads or stirrer, you can say, and then there is a thermometer to measure its temperature. And how it is connected, there is some setting, there is a pulley, and some mass is connected to that. So once the mass is moved up and down, lower, up and down, okay, lower, it can be lowered, it can be moved upward. So that way this propeller is rotating, and as the stirrers or the pads are in connection with this propeller shaft, it is actually turbulating the liquid or fluid inside it. That way its temperature is going to increase. So this is nothing but work done on the system, and you get a heat generation inside this. So work done by the system on the system is by this lowering the mass and or the movement of the mass up and down, and then you have heat generation here inside. So this is nothing but the Joule's experiment. And why Joule's experiment? Because he calculated here, he measured here the heat in terms of calorie, and then he made some equivalence with the energy here, the Joule, okay, work energy. So he measured the the work can be measured in Joule. So Joule is the mechanical equivalent basically with the heat. So heat and Joule, this Joule work energy, it can be equivalently proved here. So this was the apparatus, and then from this experiment he derived the first law of the thermodynamics. Okay, so like I said, if you focus on this, this is a state, thermodynamic state number 1, thermodynamic state number 2. Here so many properties can be found out. Okay, understand? So many properties, pressure, volume, temperature, all such kind of properties, thermodynamic properties can be found out at 1 and 2 individually, P1, V1, T1, right? P2, V2, T2, and so many, delta 2, rho 2 and all. So all these different quantities can be found out at state number 1 and 2, but not the work and heat. Work and heat are the path function. So that's why if you want to find out what is the work done, okay, what is the heat addition or heat rejection from the system, then you need to get difference of these two states, state number 1 and state number 2. However, you can find out different properties like temperature, viscosity. Am I audible now? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please mute yourself, others. Okay, fine. So that was this is you understood that, right? Work and heat is a path function, where other properties are thermodynamic properties are the point function. So point functions are where at certain state you can find out the values. Somebody is not muting himself. Who is that? Karan? No. Rutuja Shinde? Rutuja Shinde? No, Akansha Shitole. Yes, fine. So, so first law of thermodynamics, when we say during the in the closed system, okay, when system undergoes a closed cycle, the cyclic integration of work transfer is proportional to cyclic integration of heat transfer. So cyclic integration, there should be a circle, okay, small circle on the integration symbol. So that symbol is cyclic integration. So dW is proportional to dQ, okay. In the process, it can be seen as Q is equal to W plus delta U, okay. So heat is equal to work plus internal energy for a process. It will be the first law of thermodynamics. There are many statements, analogous statements. When a closed system undergoes a cyclic process, algebraic sum of work and heat are 0. Okay, so you can see W minus Q or Q minus W is always 0. So algebraic of work and heat is on the system with 0. when it is in closed system. Energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. It converts into one form to another. The total energy of universe remains constant, right? So this is well known, very famous, remembering statement, lifelong remembering statement, right? First of thermodynamics. It is impossible to have PMM1. I said PMM1 is nothing but which does not follow the first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics says dW is equal to dQ, right? Here with this equation, summation of W minus summation of Q. That means what? That dW or W is equal to Q. So the first law says that whatever Q you have, based on that a machine will produce work, or whatever work you will receive, based on that equivalent amount of heat can be produced. So that is nothing but a first law. But what is PMM1? Which will not follow the first law of thermodynamics, that is perpetual motion machine of first kind. That simply means that there is no Q. You can say dotted Q, that means what? It is zero. Okay, you can simply show it is zero. So Q is zero and still machine can produce work. That is PMM1. PMM, perpetual motion machine of first kind, PMM1. There is a machine which will take electricity and will not produce any Q or any will not produce any heat. That is PMM1. You understand what is the figure, how you draw the figures? Now your task will be, next task will be, you draw the figures for first law of thermodynamics statement, then PMM1, then second law of thermodynamics their segments, and then PMM2. Okay, you simply draw the this kind of block diagrams. It will be easy to understand. Okay, you understand? If it is a first law of thermodynamics, then this is not a dotted, this is a continuous one. Okay, Q is first continuous heat that you get, and you will produce continuous work. Continuous work you may receive and you may produce continuous heat. That is first law of thermodynamics. But what is PMM? Q is zero. Machine can take electricity, will not produce any heat. That is PMM1. Machine will take get the some input and will not produce some any output, or will not give take any input and produces output continuously. That is also PMM1. Fine. So that is the limitation. You see in the first law of thermodynamics, the process happens in particular direction only, that is heat transferring from hot body to cold body. It is not able to give explanation about why or how the heat can be transferred from low temperature body to high temperature body. Understand how it is possible to transfer heat from low temperature body to high temperature body? So there is no explanation, proper explanation here in first law. That's why there is a requirement of second law of thermodynamics. Fine. So this is nothing but how heat flows from one direction to another direction. That means from hot body to environment. That is the heat flow. Fine. Second one, the work can be converted into equivalent amount of heat. Equivalent amount of heat. So and that cannot be converted into work completely. Heat cannot be converted into work completely. You can see 100% conversion of work to heat, but not 100% conversion of heat to work. There is again another problem, and why it is happening so? Because there is losses, and there is no explanation about the losses in first law of thermodynamics. There is only said that one form of energy is converted to another form, but some forms are not useful. Those are losses. So no proper explanation. So here you can see, once you move the weight up and down, it is a Joule experiment setup. So there is a heating of the fluid inside the chamber, but you heat the chamber, suppose with the certain burner. Okay. So there will not be movement of this weight up and down, right? So work can be converted to heat, but heat cannot be converted into work. That is the explanation here. You can draw this figure if it is asked. This question is asked in the exam. Okay. Now you can say it is not it gives necessary but not sufficient condition to process for process to occur. Okay, because of these two earlier reasons. Now second law of thermodynamics, once again you are able to see this once again, I guess. So what is the second law of thermodynamics? Why there is a need of second law of thermodynamics? Because of the some limitations of the first law of thermodynamics. There is no proper explanation for direction of heat transfer to occur, right? And there is no proper explanation of how the conversion of work and heat mutually. Okay, no proper explanation how much percentage of conversion is there. So that's why we have this rule, this law, second law, and based on these two limitations, we have two different statements. First statement is about Kelvin-Planck statement. It is impossible to have a machine which will produce 100% efficiency. Understand? I'm talking about another terminology. In rough word, you can say Kelvin-Planck statement is about 100% efficiency. What it says that it is impossible to have the machine which will produce 100% efficiency. That means what? It is impossible to have to convert heat into work. Okay, it is impossible to convert complete amount of heat into work or work into heat that way. So actual statement is it is impossible to construct a device which works on a cycle whose sole effect is transfer heat from single reservoir and convert it into equal amount of work. It is not possible to convert heat into equal amount of work. That is the meaning. Okay, it is not possible. And you get this. Okay, so what it says now, this figure says from heat source you take Q amount of heat and then engine produces the heat source is there, and you can see this figure. Now you try to talk with the figure. Okay, what is happening there? Heat source is the source of reservoir from which engine is receiving heat. Okay, heat, and engine is able to convert that heat completely into work. So whether what is it? What is it basically? Is it the second law of thermodynamics, Kelvin-Planck statement is happening that way? Kelvin-Planck क्या कहता है? Kelvin-Planck कहता है कि it is not possible to have engine which will produce 100% efficiency. तो ये अभी जो फिगर दिख रहा है आपको, that is producing 100% efficiency, isn't it? So Q is converted into work. What is the input? How much input is there? That is completely converted into work output. So what is it? It is the 100% efficiency of the engine. And what is it? It is actually first law of thermodynamics. Right? Why first law of thermodynamics? Because Q is converted into work, no? Are you getting it? Q is
Yes, sir.
converted into work. So it is the first law of thermodynamics. But as there is a limitation, what is the limitation? Work can be, we have proved it, no, from Joule's experiment, we proved that work can, it's okay, and that is 100%. But in the fullest extent, heat cannot be converted into work. That we have proven in first law of thermodynamics. But there is no proper explanation. Just we have proven it. Okay, and that's why we require the second law of thermodynamics, where the Kelvin-Planck statement says that it is impossible to construct a device which transfer heat from a single reservoir and convert into equal amount of work. It is not possible. But now it is showing that something else. That means what? It is PMM2. That means what? It is PMM2, perpetual motion machine of second kind, who's actually disobeying the second law of thermodynamics, at least for this statement. Okay? अभी ये क्या कर रहा है कि ये जैसे Kelvin-Planck बोल रहा है वैसे फॉलो नहीं कर रहा है. It is disobeying the statement, and that's why this is a figure. And so we can simply say blindly, this is the second law of, PMM2, perpetual motion second kind. This is a machine. But according to Kelvin-Planck statement, what is happening then? It is impossible. Then what is possible? What is possible? This is possible. Okay? It is impossible to construct a device which can take all the heat from single reservoir and convert into work. It is impossible. But that what is possible? That it is possible that from the reservoir you get a heat. Okay, it will be converted into work, and remaining amount of heat will be rejected somewhere in the atmosphere or somewhere else. Okay, understood? What happens in your two-wheeler engine? आपके जो बाइक को जो इंजन है उसमें क्या होता है? There is a chemical energy of fuel which you are actually receiving. Okay, energy you are receiving. Actually, you are burning the fuel inside the cylinder. Are you with me? You are burning fuel inside the cylinder. Okay, ये IC इंजन में हो रहा है, ये आपके पेट्रोल वाले इंजन में जो बाइक के इंजन में हो रहा है. तो उधर क्या हो रहा है कि जो इंजन फ्यूल बर्न हो जाएगा उससे इंजन को पावर मिलेगी. ओके, but that fuel is burning at very high temperature. Huge amount of energy is released there. So the engine is not able to use all the temperature produced by the hot gases. Okay, so it will use, of course, maximum energy, but then remaining exhaust gases that you have to send through the exhaust wall, and what will come out of the silencer is the hot gas only. Understood? So if somebody wants to measure what is the temperature coming out of the gases from the silencer, you just hold your hand there and then you will sense how much temperature is there. But still it is having some temperature T2, and inside the IC engine cylinder, your engine, there is temperature T1. T1 is very high than the T2. Still there is a T2, we say it is a rejection. These are the losses. So once you know, T1 minus T2 is actually heat consumption by the engine. Okay, T1 is the temperature produced at certain level, T2 is the losses at certain level, and T1 minus T2 is nothing but your consumption of the energy at that temperature. Okay, understood? So this is nothing but a Kelvin Planck statement. You just need to draw this figure. There is a heat source, there is a heat sink. Heat source from which you are taking the energy, heat sink where you are dipping the energy or relieving the energy. Heat sink can be atmosphere, heat sink can be ocean. Okay, ocean can be a heat sink. Why? Because you pour any buckets of number of water in the ocean, nothing will happen. No, nothing will happen. क्या उसका पानी का कैपेसिटी बढ़ेगा? आप अगर बकेट से पानी भर रहे हो इसमें ओशन में, नहीं भरेगा. So it's a sink. And same way it can be acting as a reservoir. आप अगर बकेट से पानी लेके जा रहे हो ओशन से, nothing will happen to ocean, bro. That will be considered as a source. So source and sinks are those reservoirs where you add temperature there or you remove the temperature from there. You add heat there or you remove heat from that there. Nothing will happen to the reservoir. Temperature of reservoir, I mean source and sink, will not drop. That is the actual heat sink and heat source concept. Okay, so that is about so Kelvin Planck statement. You need to draw this figure. Q absorb is coming to engine. Engine will produce some work, and there are some losses in terms of Q rejection towards the sink. So this is possible. This is Kelvin Planck statement. And what is not possible is this. Understood? This is not possible. But first law says it is possible. And that's why as in second law it is not possible. This is PMM2. Okay, this is PMM2. Okay, this is PMM2, and this is your second law of thermodynamics of Kelvin Planck. It is about efficiency of engine. Efficiency of engine. Nobody can make any machine which works at 100% efficiency. No one on earth can make machine which will have 100% efficiency, mind you. Okay, so because of this, then Clausius statement, second law of thermodynamics, second statement. Clausius statement, like you remember, there is no proper explanation how one can extract heat from low temperature body to high temperature body, right? There is no proper explanation. First law says that heat transfer is happening from hot body to cold body only. That is true. That is true. And second law says that it is impossible to transfer heat from low temperature body to high temperature body. It is also actually following the first law. But it is in other way, it is saying that it is impossible to construct a device whose cycle, who works on a cycle and whose sole effect is to transfer heat from low temperature reservoir to high temperature reservoir. ये पॉसिबल नहीं है कि हीट एक्सट्रैक्ट करे लो टेम्परेचर बॉडी से और हाई टेम्परेचर बॉडी को सेंड करे, लेकिन पीपल हैव प्रूव्ड इट. ओके, इट इज पॉसिबल इन केस ऑफ हीट पंप एंड रेफ्रिजरेटर unless it is working on some external energy source. Okay, it is working on some external energy source. So a heat pump or refrigerator, it is receiving the Q or heat from the cold body, it is extracting it and it is sending it to hot body. This is not possible. Clausius is saying that it is not possible. So this is a figure that you show it is not possible. It is not possible, right? And somebody says it is possible, then who is that? अगर कोई बोलता है कि ये पॉसिबल है, तो वो टर्म को हम क्या कहेंगे? वो दैट इज व्हाट इज दैट टर्मिनोलॉजी?
Permutabile machine that.
No, no.
PM2.
Permission. It is perpetual motion machine of second kind. Yes, PMM2. PMM2. Because the PMM2 says that it is possible. Freely you can extract heat from cold body temperature, cold body, and you can send that temperature to hot body. You can add it. So PMM2 says that, but actually Clausius says that it is not possible. Then how is it? How it can be done? We are rectifying devices based on Clausius statement. So we are adding the input energy, that is nothing but electricity. So with the electricity only heat pump runs. With the electricity only refrigerator runs. With the electricity only so many devices runs, right? So that is nothing but this way. So hot you will transfer heat from low temperature body to high temperature body with the addition of electricity. You absorb, you reject it. Huh? So this is nothing but Clausius statement. I hope you understood it. Fine. Or is there still doubt? कोई बात नहीं, अगर
सर पीएमएम
नहीं
इमेजिनरी है ना?
PMM1 and PMM2 are imaginary things. Why? Because you can see, is it possible? PMM says no, this is possible. Is it possible? Now in the screen, on the screen you can see the image. Is it really possible? ऐसा हो सकता है क्या? Cold body से hot body का नहीं हो सकता. So this is not possible. और you got it, no? And this is क्या ये भी क्या हो सकता है क्या? ये हो सकता है? Engine receives input energy and completely convert into output. ये भी हो सकता है क्या? नहीं हो सकता. 100% efficiency you cannot get. So this is what it is, PMM2. Okay, somebody is talking about efficiency, it is PMM2. Somebody is talking about this transfer of heat from low temperature body to high temperature body, it is PMM2. It is PMM2. So PMM1, in fact, based on first law of thermodynamics, which doesn't obey the first law of thermodynamics, PMM1, which doesn't obey the second law of thermodynamics, PMM2. So both the things are imaginary. Okay, imaginary. But why we take reference of those imaginary things? Because we, as this is imaginary, we are searching how it can be possible, how it can be made possible, how it can be made possible. Okay, and we keep on thinking, and that's why we got refrigerator, that's why we got AC, that's why you got the heat pumps, that's why you got the engine, everything you got based on the this thinking. And how is not possible? How is not possible? So people tried a lot to change that, but they cannot change the laws. Okay, they could not change the laws, but they could make this kind of devices based on the PMM. Okay, understood? So Clausius is now this. You need to draw the figures carefully. You simply draw the figures. No need to write the statements and all. Keep drawing the figures, this block diagram. You will completely understand what is that. Okay, now heat engine. Next part. Now that there is an engine. You can see the symbol. And engine receives the heat from the source. You absorb. It will produce the work. That means what? 100% efficiency. Correct? Is it possible now? Certainly not, right? So there has to be some rejection of heat. So this is rejection. And now you can see based on the first law of thermodynamics or the Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics, you can see heat engine runs. And one can get the efficiency like this. Heat input is the Q absorb from the heat source. You can designate as a Q1. Yes. Yes.
Kelvin-Planck statement is same as the heat engine.
Kelvin-Planck statement, no. Yes. Kelvin-Planck statement is about efficiency of engine, right? What Kelvin-Planck statement says, it is impossible to have machine which will take heat from the source and completely convert it into work. It is not possible, right? That means what? What is not possible? It is not possible. Kelvin-Planck says. And what is engine says? It is possible. So you will take the energy from source, you will produce some output, and remaining thing will be rejected. Okay. So work output is always difference between Q absorbed and Q rejected. So you just in order to see look at the engine, you must understand Q absorb is nothing but heat supply to the engine, that is Q1, which is of course from the high temperature body. You need to make sure there are something terms. High temperature body से heat आ रही है, so engine is taking that, it is with its capacity is trying to convert all the work, and some beyond the capacity is rejecting the heat, okay, to the sink. So Q absorb minus Q rejected is the work output, and as you know, there is the input and there is the output, so you can simply get the efficiency in terms of say work output divided by Q absorb. Fine. And what is the formula then that you get? Q absorbed minus Q rejected divided by Q absorbed. So in terms of Q, symbolic representation is Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. Q2 क्या है पता है ना आपको? ठीक है, Q2 क्या है? Q रिजेक्शन है. Q1 क्या है? Q absorb है. So Q1 minus Q2 is nothing but work output divided by Q1. Understood? So this is the efficiency of engine. Efficiency is engine works based on certainly Kelvin-Planck statement of second of thermodynamics. Heat pump किस पे काम करता है? ये heat pump कौन से स्टेटमेंट पे काम करता है? हीट पंप
Class statement.
clause statement. Heat pump clauses, because heat pump is something related to temperature flow and I mean heat transfer, and then refrigerator also based on this, so it is on the clause statement. Clause statement जो बोला गया था वो, it is impossible to extract heat from cold temperature body and send it to the high temperature body, right? This is a clause statement. But then with the addition of electricity, it is possible to extract heat from cold temperature body and send it to high temperature body. So this is nothing but the heat pump. हीट पंप और ये रेफ्रिजरेटर का फिगर सेम रहेगा, ब्लॉक डायग्राम सेम रहेगा. इंस्टेड ऑफ एचपी यू शो देयर इज आर, रेफ्रिजरेटर इन द सर्कल. ओके, तो सर्कल जो अंदर रहेगा वो रेफ्रिजरेटर रहेगा अगर रेफ्रिजरेटर दिखाना है तो, और हीट पंप है तो एचपी. So but the desirable effects are different. You tell me what is the desirable effect for the heat pump? Is it W in, Q absorb, Q rejection? What is the desirable effect? Yes.
Q rejected. QREJ.
Q reject.
Q1 at T1.
Yeah, Q at T1 will be a desirable effect. Why? Because you need to get a terminology. You need to understand the terminology. You are learning. You are concentrating on heat pump. जो हीट पंप होता है वो क्यों होता है? बिकॉज you want to heat this space. So and where are you now? This is how you get this. This is the Q absorb. तो यहां से क्या हो रहा है? T2 बॉडी से, T2 टेम्परेचर कोल्ड बॉडी से Q अमाउंट ऑफ हीट वो रिजेक्ट निकाला जा रहा है यहां से. ओके, सो ऑफकोर्स यू आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन दिस, but that heat pump is running on some electricity and actually it is extracting heat Q absorbed here, and it is rejecting heat Q rejected Q2 sorry, what may be the Q1 or Q2, anything. So that Q rejection will be done in this space जहां आप बैठे हैं, the hot body. This is a space which you want to heat by addition of Q rejection of heat. Q rejection ये ऐड करके वो हीट कर रहे हैं. तो आप symbolic representation रहेगा. तो Q rejection here, Q rejection you just symbolize T1 के नजदीक जो Q रहेगा वो Q1 है. Okay, it's a better simple understanding. जो T1 है, T1 is always at higher temperature body, T2 is always at lower temperature body. तो T2 के नजदीक जो हीट रहेगा, ओके, हीट रहेगा जो नजदीक रहेगा, that is Q2. And T1 के नजदीक जो रहेगा, the close to that, it is Q1. Okay, Q1 heat. So Q1 amount of heat is getting added in the space or the room where you want a heating effect. So that is this effect is Q1. Q1 is desirable effect. Input क्या रहेगा फिर? Input रहेगा work in, electricity. And electricity क्या रहेगा? It is a requirement of absorbing this heat and sending this heat to the space. So difference between the Q rejection and Q absorb. Okay, so what is it? Q1 minus Q. So this reverse one, यह क्या होता है? Q rejection minus Q. Because we added this Q rejection in 1. Okay, no worries, just a difference. You take a difference, no issue. Okay. You should have the sign here, okay, because it's always positive. No negative symbol here. Take a difference here. Q rejection minus or Q here Q1 minus Q2. It is work in. So you get the input, you get the desirable effect, and as this is running against the law of nature. What is law of nature? Everything flows from higher level to lower level. Correct? This is law of nature. What is happening here in case of heat pump? Heat getting stuck from the and so it is against nature. So you cannot find efficiency here. You will find the coefficient of performance. There is another terminal, coefficient of performance. So coefficient of performance, COP of HP, is desirable effect. Instead of input, you have desirable effect here. Okay. So input is actually desirable effect is Q rejected divided by input. This is the COP of heat pump. Are you with me? COP of heat pump. So COP of HP is equal to Q1 divided by Q1 minus Q2, because work is Q1 minus Q2. Q rejection minus Q absorb. समझ में आ गया ये? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any doubt, please ask me.
Sir, can you repeat the coefficient of performance of heat pump?
अभी देखो, coefficient of performance of heat pump क्या है? We need to find out performances of devices, right? In the heat engine, we found out the performance of this engine this way, efficiency. Understood? In the engine, we got three devices here, thermodynamic devices. One is the heat engine, heat pump, and refrigerator. Right now, we are learning only this three. So, in heat engine, as this is happening naturally क्या हो रहा है? हाई टेम्परेचर बॉडी से आप हीट ले रहे हो और लो टेम्परेचर बॉडी को आप हीट भेज रहे हो. ड्यूरिंग दिस प्रोसेस व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? वर्क इज गेटिंग प्रोड्यूस बाय द इंजन. ओके, सो ये नेचुरली हो रहा है हीट ट्रांसफर. दैट्स व्हाई द परफॉर्मेंस इज मेजर्ड ऑफ बाय द ऑफ द इंजन in terms of it is measured in terms of efficiency. So efficiency of engine is output divided by input. You know, input is Q absorb here, and output is difference between Q absorb and Q rejection. You get Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. That is the engine. Fine. In case of heat pump क्या हो रहा है? ये हो रहा है कि आपको क्या है? You are interested in desirable effect. You want performance of heat pump, but actually with that desirable effect. अगर इफेक्ट ही नहीं मिल रहेगा और वो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ले रहा है, काम कर रहा है, so nobody can measure the efficiency, no. I mean, so ये कैसे काम कर रहा है कि अगेन द नेचुरल रूल. सो हीट ट्रांसफर कैसे हो रहा है? लो टेम्परेचर बॉडी टू हाई टेम्परेचर बॉडी हो रहा है यहाँ. सो विच इज नॉट अ नेचुरल वन. सो यू विल नॉट फाइंड हियर इफिशिएंसी, बट यू विल फाइंड आउट performance in other way, coefficient of performance with respect to input, how much you get the effect. आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कितना ले रहे हो और कितना आपको हीट मिल रहा है, that is nothing but the coefficient of performance. So what you have, desirable effect is nothing but Q1 and input is Q1 minus Q2. So coefficient of performance is desirable effect divided by input. Desirable effect divided by input. हीट पंप के लिए भी वही फॉर्मूला है, डिजायरेबल इफेक्ट डिवाइड बाय इनपुट, और रेफ्रिजरेटर की भी वही फॉर्मूला है, दैट इज डिजायरेबल इफेक्ट डिवाइडेड बाय इनपुट. बट व्हाट इज डिजायरेबल इफेक्ट विल सी लेटर. सो व्हाट इज दिस फॉर हीट पंप? डिजायरेबल इफेक्ट हीट पंप के लिए क्या रहेगा? विच इज नियर टू हॉट बॉडी, बिकॉज हॉट बॉडी यू आर हीटिंग, नो. सो हाउ मच एडिशन ऑफ Q इज देयर इन हॉट बॉडी? दैट इज Q1. सो Q1 डिवाइडेड बाय Q1 माइनस Q2. That is the heat pump. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Clear. Okay. Now refrigerator में क्या है? रेफ्रिजरेटर में क्या है? ड्राइंग तो वही रहेगा क्योंकि क्लॉसिस स्टेटमेंट फॉलो करता है. क्लॉसिस स्टेटमेंट क्या बोलता है? इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू ट्रांसफर हीट फ्रॉम लो टेम्परेचर बॉडी टू हाई टेम्परेचर. ऑफ कोर्स इट इज इम्पॉसिबल, बट विद एडिशन ऑफ वर्क इन, I mean electricity, it is possible. Now अब आप बोलो, अब आप बोलो कि रेफ्रिजरेटर के लिए डिजायरेबल इफेक्ट क्या रहेगा?
Q absorbed Q2 at T2.
Correct, correct. It is Q2 at T2 or Q absorbed. Why? Because you want to cool that space. No. So you are interested in how much heat is getting removed from the that cooled space, cold space. You are interested in how much heat is getting extracted. So Q2 is desirable effect. And how much Q2 you are extracting with the input energy, that is electricity, that is nothing but COP of R. So desirable effect is Q2 at T2, then work input is always W in, and W is in again Q rejected, actually it should be Q rejected minus Q absorbed. So Q1 minus Q2, okay, Q1 minus Q2, just take a difference, okay, no worry. Then COP of R is coefficient of performance of refrigerator, which is nothing but Q desirable effect divided by work in. Desirable effect is Q2 and work in is in Q1 minus Q2. So you get this formula Q2 divided by Q1 minus Q2. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Shenge,
Yes, sir.
Akshata, are you live? Are you there? Shenge Akshata? Shenge Akshata? No. Many people
Yes,
are
yes.
not listening. I mean, yeah, you are there. So are you clear with this?
Yes.
Fine, fine.
Sir,
Now, yes, yes. Go ahead.
सर कोल्ड बॉडी
Yes.
का टेम्परेचर पहले ही कम है ना, तो अगर हम Q1 माइनस
हाँ.
Q2 करेंगे तो नेगेटिव में आएगा ना वर्क इनपुट।
नहीं नहीं, अभी Q1 ज्यादा ही रहेगा। क्यों ज्यादा रहेगा? क्योंकि Q2 हम कोई अमाउंट से निकाल रहे हैं, ठीक है? Q2 निकाल रहे हैं। तो Q1 Q2 निकाल रहे हैं और कैसे निकाल रहे हैं? विद द हेल्प ऑफ वर्क इनपुट। ये देखो, ये साइड साइड में जो फिगर है ना, इधर इधर देखो। तो Q2 हम निकल रहे हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। तो Q रिजेक्शन क्या हो रहा है एक्चुअली? सो इट इज द एनर्जी दैट यू आर टेकिंग फ्रॉम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एंड हिट यू आर टेकिंग फ्रॉम T2। सो ये दोनों का एडिशन होके Q रिजेक्शन आ जाएगा। तो Q रिजेक्शन इज ऑलवेज हाइयर। ओके ओके, Q रिजेक्शन इज ऑलवेज हाइयर, ठीक है ना?
यस सर, पर वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि जैसे आपने बोला ना कि वर्क इनपुट क्या होगा कि Q ऑब्जॉर्व माइनस Q रिजेक्टेड। सो अभी
हाँ हाँ
आपने बोला कि Q रिजेक्टेड ज्यादा होगा। सो क्यों, जैसे कि
हाँ,
अभी
Q रिजेक्ट
Q एब्जॉर्ब कम
नहीं,
होगा
देखो
तो
देखो देखो देखो, सुनो सुनो। वर्क इन क्या रहेगा? वर्क इन क्या रहेगा? Q रिजेक्टेड माइनस Q एब्सॉर्ब रहेगा, ठीक है? ठीक है।
यस सर।
हाँ। तो अगर Q रिजेक्टेड माइनस Q एब्सॉर्ब इज इक्वल टू वर्क इन है, तो इसका मतलब क्या रहेगा?
Q rejected is equal to Q
वर्क Q
absorbed plus
एब्सॉर्ब
P.
प्लस, करेक्ट, हाँ, Q एब्सॉर्ब प्लस वर्क इन हो जाएगा। तो सेम ही रहेगा। इसका मतलब है Q रिजेक्टेड इज ऑलवेज हाइयर इन केस ऑफ हीट पंप एंड रेफ्रिजरेटर। व्हाई? बिकॉज इट इज एक्चुअली एडिशन ऑफ वर्क इन एंड Q एब्सॉर्ब। देखो ना, मैथमेटिकली भी प्रूव हो जाएगा वो ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है। और समझ में लो कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से ही काम करता है ये। तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी हमको जितना देनी पड़ेगी ना, तो वो उसका एडिशन और Q एब्सॉर्ब का एडिशन वो Q रिजेक्शन हो जाएगा, ठीक है? You try to draw the figure, then you will clearly understand what is happening, and try to imagine what is happening in heat pump and refrigerator. So anyway, इंजन से हम क्या करते हैं? एफिशिएंसी फाइंड आउट करते हैं। जो ये आ जाएगा Q absorb minus Q rejection divided by Q absorb. Anyway, Q absorb and Q rejection do not get confused in between this, because everything is happening in between cold body and hot body. तो वट एवर टेम्परेचर यू हैव, T1 के नजदीक क्या रहेगा? Q1 रहेगा, और T2 के नजदीक Q2 रहेगा। ये समझ लो, फिर बाकी चीजें आसान हो जाएगी यहाँ। So Q work output is or work in is the difference between Q absorb and Q rejection. It is a positive difference, okay? And then COP of R is Q absorb divided by work in. Why? Because Q absorb is the desirable effect in case of refrigerator, and in case of heat pump, Q rejected is the desirable effect, because that where you are interested in how much addition is uh, I mean, in workplace where you want to heat. So this is always represent sort of figure. T1 is greater than T2. This yellow color block seen shown here, that is T1 greater than T2. You have to somehow represent. I hope it is clear to you. And now you can see there are certain relations right now we have seen. That is efficiency of engine. Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. That is efficiency of engine. Fine. Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. That is efficiency of engine. Is it correct? You just tell me, is it correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There may be mistake. Fine. You should be alive. Okay. You should be alive a little bit. Fine. Then COP of HP is Q1 upon Q1 minus Q2. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Fine. Then COP of R is Q2 upon Q1 minus Q2.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. Okay. So normally in theoretical examinations, okay, or in multiple choice questions also, such questions will be asked that you need to find out some relation between these. So can you see the formula and tell me the relation amongst them? Vaikule,
Sir,
Miss
efficiency
Vaikule, are you there?
Yes, sir.
is,
Can you see the
Yes,
relation?
sir.
Tell me. Tell
sir,
me relation.
efficiency of engine is reciprocal of coefficient of heat pump.
Correct. You see the formula of engine and formula of COP of HP, both are, I mean, reciprocal of each other. So you can say this is happening. Hence, it can be written as efficiency of engine is equal to 1 upon COP of HP, or COP of HP is equal to 1 upon engine. Okay, this is the thing. Correct? Any other relation now? Okay, for you, I'll say one more relation, where important relation here. This is the relation. Are you getting this? COP of HP minus of COP of R is equal to 1. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right, no? So COP
Yes,
का
sir.
formula is 1 upon something, and COP of R का formula है Q2 upon that something. Okay, same. So same, that those denominator is same here. You can see while calculating numerator and denominator, you get a 1. So it is always there. COP of HP is always higher than COP of R. This is the statement. Somebody may ask you, please, give statement on it. COP of HP minus COP of R is equal to 1, or COP of R is always less than COP of HP, or COP of HP is always greater than COP of R. Any statement may be there, you have to prove this. Okay? Fine? Is it okay? Is there any doubt now? Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Fine.
Excuse me,
Should
sir.
not be any doubt now.
So,
Please keep writing your roll number in chat box. Please keep writing your roll number in chat box. Priti Shinde, why you left? Priti Shinde left. ठीक है. Type your roll number in chat box. Tell me, Yash, what you are telling.
sir, heat engine, heat pump, and refrigerator are all the applications of laws of thermodynamics, right? So, by observing these
Okay.
three, I have concluded that efficiency of anything means, if we get the work out of an application, then we find efficiency, and if we give the work in for the desired output, then we find coefficient of performance. Is it true for all other applications, or is it true for only these applications?
Actually, what I said is correct. What you are saying in other way, it may be correct, but do not rely on your statement, because actually thermodynamics is nothing but studying thermodynamic system based on different thermodynamic properties. Okay, so thermodynamic system means you say there is a open system, closed system, and isolated system, right? And there is one term like, when you work on the system, work done by the system and work or by the surrounding. Okay, you see, system is working on surrounding, and surrounding is working on system. So the both works are different. Okay, so when you see engine, a refrigerator or heat pump, these are the part of systems. And then there is a surrounding. Sometimes surrounding works on the system. Sometimes what happens, system is working on surrounding. So system is working on surrounding, there is a positive work. Surrounding is working on system, then it is negative work. Okay, so this symbol that you have is about sometimes electricity is a surrounding and sometimes it is a part of system. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether your device is getting electricity or not. You cannot directly measure performance, coefficient of performance and efficiency for that. Okay, are you getting it?
Okay, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
for example, I tell you, you may be confused what I said, but you just say, I think you are clear with your question, right? That
Yes, sir.
work in is there, so you can measure coefficient of performance instead of efficiency, right? That is your question. It is not
Yes.
true for the pump. It is not true for the pump. Now, pumps you are using for lifting water from low level to high level, right? Correct?
Yes,
So,
sir.
and that is not always true. You can use pump from at any level, high level to low level also. You can use the pump. Okay, if you want pressurized water, it's fine, one and same. But for pump, you are not finding the performance of coefficient. I mean the coefficient of performance for the pump. You find out there the efficiency only, hydraulic efficiency of the pump, right? And
Yes,
for
sir.
this pump and refrigerator, you find out the coefficient of performance instead of efficiency. Instead of efficiency, you measure it a coefficient of performance. And now, roughly, if we say no, roughly, actually, coefficient of performance and efficiency all are same, because actually we are measuring the efficiency of the, I mean, performance of the device. Just terminologies are different. And why we people teach like that? Because somehow you should remember that there is a difference between coefficient of performance, there is a difference between efficiency and coefficient of performance. So that's why we are telling that there is a high energy, low energy, natural flow and all. Okay, but COP is always measured for heat pump and refrigerator, where for a pump you will measure the efficiency, though all devices are receiving input energy as a electricity. It is electricity. Okay, now you are clear.
Yes, sir.
Now just see here, most important, it's not most important, but you must know the previous devices what we have seen, it is related to irreversible process, irreversible. But this is an ideal Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle is the ideal one. It is ideal. No any engine can have efficiency more than Carnot engine. Are you getting it? No engine, no machine will give better performance than the Carnot cycle engine or device. Huh? So Carnot cycle is ideal one, and why we say it is ideal? Because we say it is a reversible. Reversible. It is reversible, not irreversible. There are two things. Reversible means what? You will get to that same state after moving. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 1. So same state you are reaching at the same location every time, though there are processes. So there are two isothermal processes and two adiabatic processes in the Carnot cycle. Okay, no need to focus too much here, but just say remember the word Carnot cycle is the ideal cycle. Okay, and Carnot cycle engine efficiency will be always higher, or COP of Carnot cycle heat pump refrigerator is always higher than the COP of heat pump and refrigerator of irreversible cycle. Okay, so Carnot cycle efficiency between two high temperature bodies. So you know the efficiency of engine. Please be with me. Very important. Just 1 minute will take. Carnot efficiency is measured with the same way, T1 minus T2 divided by T1. or 1 minus T2 divide T1 cancel, you get there 1 minus T2 divided by T1. T2 is low temperature body, T1 is high temperature body. T1 is actually TH, high temperature body. T2 is low temperature body, TC or TL, low temperature body. Carnot engine, you know, we have seen the formula there, Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1, and that is nothing but T1 minus T2 divided by T1. Formula same, Carnot engine, correct? All of you observing it or not? Are Carnot engine means what? Our engine, no, our engine, heat engine. तो हीट इंजन का यही फॉर्मूला है Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. That is actually formula of heat engine, which is irreversible. Please note, please mind, please remember, write down somewhere. हीट इंजन जो रिवर्सिबल है, जो एक्चुअल हैपनिंग में है, उसका फॉर्मूला रहेगा Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q2, Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. ये हीट इंजन का फॉर्मूला रहेगा. कार्नोट साइकिल का फॉर्मूला क्या रहेगा? T1 minus T2 divided by T1, because it is considering the temperature difference. It doesn't worry about how much heat transfer is taking place. So कार्नोट इंजन का जो रिवर्सिबल में काम करता है, कार्नोट इंजन रिवर्सिबल में काम करता है, उसका भी एफिशिएंसी ऑलवेज ज्यादा रहेगा उस इंजन का कंपेयर टू एक्चुअल इंजन. एक्चुअल इंजन जो रहेगा वो इरिवर्सिबल प्रोसेस पे काम करता है. ओके, तो उसका फॉर्मूला रहेगा Q1 minus Q2 डिवाइड बाई Q1. ये इंजन का रहेगा, हीट इंजन का फॉर्मूला, अपने इंजन का. और कार्नोट इंजन का T1 minus T2 डिवाइड बाई T1. So you by this time you might have understood that. तो कार्नोट का जो मेजर करना है हमको, कार्नोट का जो भी रहेगा, इंजन का एफिशिएंसी और कोएफिशिएंट परफॉर्मेंस रहेगा एचपी का और रेफ्रिजरेटर का, तो टेम्परेचर के टर्म्स में करना है. फॉर एग्जांपल कार्नोट हीट पंप का, कार्नोट हीट पंप अगर सिर्फ हीट पंप है तो उसका फॉर्मूला Q1 अपॉन Q1 माइनस Q2. अगर कार्नोट का हीट पंप है तो T1 डिवाइडेड बाय T1 माइनस T2. ये कार्नोट का रहेगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेम्परेचर. कार्नोट हीट रेफ्रिजरेटर का रहेगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेम्परेचर T2 डिवाइडेड बाय T1 माइनस T2. ओके, फाइन, समझ में आ गया? ये नहीं आया?
Yes, sir.
Only one statement is sufficient to understand this. और complete slide is कार्नोट का जो इंजन का इफिशिएंसी रहता है या सीओपी रहता है हीट पंप और रेफ्रिजरेटर का, वो ज्यादा क्यों होता है? बिकॉज दैट यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेम्परेचर्स. फॉर्मूले आर सेम, बट इंस्टेड ऑफ क्यू और हीट दैट यू कंसिडर, नो, यू कंसिडर द टेम्परेचर, बिकॉज दिस इज अ रिवर्सिबल प्रोसेस. रिवर्सिबल जो आइडियल होता है, और आइडियल जो नहीं होता है उसको हम इरिवर्सिबल बोलते हैं, जिसका मतलब है जो जहां से शुरू किया है वहां हम पहुंच नहीं सकते फिर से, उसको कहते हैं इरिवर्सिबल. तो इरिवर्सिबल में क्या होता है, हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्यू. तो ऑल द फॉर्मूलेज अबाउट हीट इंजन दैट इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्यू, हीट पंप इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्यू, रेफ्रिजरेटर इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्यू, बट इन केस ऑफ कार्नोट it is in terms of T, temperature, and then that's why you get a higher values for the Carnot thing, and you get lower values for irreversible heat engine, heat pump and refrigerator. ठीक है, समझ में आया होगा? अभी ये नोट डाउन करो क्विकली, प्लीज नोट डाउन. I do not have time. Actually, if you solve this problem, no, today we just revise things. I think in better manner. There was some disconnection issue. Please type or keep writing your roll numbers, and after 6 to 7 minutes there will be another session, so you should have break of 5 minutes at least. Please note down this problem. A reversible heat engine receives heat of 15,000 kilowatt from a source at 500 degrees Celsius and rejects heat to a sink at 30% efficiency. Find the work output and heat rejected. Sorry. Reversible heat engine receives heat of 15,000 kilowatt from the source at 500 degrees Celsius and rejects heat to a sink at 30% efficiency. Find the work output and heat rejected. Okay, so this is the problem. You just solve it. Okay, though it is said as a reversible, you just simply solve it by Q. Okay, whenever there is a requirement of Carnot cycle efficiency or something like Carnot related to Carnot cycle, then only you call temperature in the equation. Okay, fine. So shall we stop now, or you want to see answer of this numerical? Is it fine? Shall we stop?
Sir, can you upload this PPT on Classroom?
Classroom I will upload. No problem. I will upload. So अभी नहीं अभी देखो I will upload this at the end of the unit number 2 only. By the time what you do, I will give you some recorded videos, last year recorded video, YouTube videos. You will, if you watch it, you will understand it, because I think this part is already covered there. Try to like and subscribe it, because next video may be coming to subscriptions only. I mean, you will be getting notifications, no? That way. Is it okay? Are you subscribing videos by faculty members?
Yes.
Please do that. Okay. Because those are not funny videos or other videos. People can make different videos, but it is for only education purpose. So you can watch them, you can share them, and prepare for your final examinations. Okay. So keep watching, keep subscribing channels by the faculty members. I will review some of the videos of numericals. Better way, what I'll do, I will give student numericals. You study numericals, and we'll skip this part of numerical, and we'll move ahead for the mode of heat conduction. I mean heat transfer in next lecture. Shall we stop now? If you don't have any problem, then we'll stop.